Timor-Leste is the youngest nation of the 21st century. It has been struggling to overcome the pain and scars of its fight for freedom. Freedom from a neglectful colonial rule, followed by brutal and violent invasion and occupation by the Indonesian military. Timor-Leste celebrated independence in 2002. However, as the country was raising itself from the ashes of destruction, it suffered yet another blow. An internal conflict broke out in 2006.
Krisis kunaba 2006 ni amine lahatene botida. Tiba-tiba kalane ema halai bai heneba kalane sirbu tu turami to kalambot. Tuda ya kalambot to klima tader sirafila te bauma. Amos hare tun mai liur bahareba talane fuikona. Amos halabari sire ina. Am sai mai dalang na bapuka karta baim hori halayona.
Yenaba a partir dia 30 de janeiro 2007. Nessa sana am siba house ba serviço mas o consumo de buat dia kelas espera dan kata ematusuno matula ano kono batida. De repente kalana contesona. Em mai tuda uma mai be hansa wodi madu ingan particular ne sempre ia. E momento no ba quarto tu te masuno te hoto ela quarto ida mangam 6 sabam ni an hena ba. E momento na telefone ba polisi la bela. Sira mai den situação difícil am la bela ba tamba e leten rama ambon ho kila te leten. O momento ida ne situação difícil te bes ba mi.
Ami lolos ami sidak muda ida. Tamba ami hau momento ne hau partus. Amu duni amu rasi haruka yang ami tinster ba fating refugiado mas tamba hani ketujuan dan tamba hau atau partus kele. Depois dalam rumah muris ya dipiskan la barik foi muris ne dalam rumah la dundia 30 Juni. Pas kalang ne ema serang ami terbuka. Ema serang terbuka ne hodi ami bane. Hodi ami vamos tamba ami ba lolos ami ema serkuti ami meeting kele ami saila dia. Sai mos la dung dia depois ketujuan kontak tu fale amu. Amo idu mai falho kareta mai dunia fating dani hodi tula ami luris saiba fating refugiado.
So 2006 is the situation is a chaos where people got panic of the general situation because this caused by petitionaries. The military or the army was broke to two parts, Loro Sai and Loro Mono. It means the east and west, where this brought the different issues. They're killing, burning the houses. So the population of Dili, they got panic, so they ran everywhere to look for the secure places, and especially in the convents, churches, and Catholic schools.
The conflict forced over 100,000 people from their homes, looking for safety and security. In Dili alone, 30,000 people were displaced and found shelter in Catholic institutions, churches, and transit shelters.
But the situation was really, it's really a chaos for us. So that we try to do our best to accommodate our people according to our space that we have, according to the situation that we have, and especially how to accommodate thousands of people in a small space where, for instance, in Bali, our space for 200 girls. But the first day, we opened our gates to accommodate thousands of people. One night, we accommodate 10,000 people. They mostly are kids and women.
When people were displaced after the referendum in 1999, the Jesuit refugee services reached out to the people. After the internal conflict in 2006, Father David Holcroft and Sister Marianne Lowry of JRS Australia, and later Father Bernard Aputhasamy, made a needs assessment visit. JRS returned to Timor-Leste to accompany, serve and advocate for the internally displaced people in October 2007.
What prompted JRS intervention in 2006 is the violence occurred in East Timor at that time, and there's a need to accompany them, to be with them especially, and also to provide some service and to look at what caused that, and also to plead for the cause of it. At the same time, you're also trying to bring them back home.
JRS começa o programa em 2007, fins de 2007 e exatamente começa em 2008. E a nebe JRS serviço e a campus nen e a Dili praticamente e a nebe uma barak loja. E a campus ira nene am serviço difícil 8 anos e a princípio, mas depois começa serviço de dia, acompanha a campus né é uma sira, mas serviço hamutu com Ministério de Solidariedade e Ministério de Solidariedade né coordena atividades todo.
JRS Timor-Leste started to work in 6 camps located in Catholic institutions. They began gathering data on the specific needs of internally displaced people and set out to complement emergency support services.
Ya edifis Santo Yosef, eu senti contente depois também ia suporta husi amo sira, depois fofating dia ba ami hodihela, ami senti la hanesang refugiado
In 2008 alone, JRS staff made 68 go-and-see visits to accompany and to identify potential problems during the return of internally displaced people to their homes. This included the visit of Father Peter Belay, International JRS Director, and Father Klaus Vathroda, Jesuit Mission Director Germany, and JRS Asia Pacific Regional Director, Father Bernard Apathisami. Prime Minister Janana Guzman made a visit to Mug Village to see the rehabilitation efforts.
A campus em lá o JRS det mos emansira mais o governo, emansira mais a organização selo canessa AELO Nações Unidas, anessa UNICEF, anessa CRS, tanto eman barak makalo cooperação ne o JRS serviço.
I came to know Mr. Isidoro as the JRS in East Timor that help us especially in the dialogue and also to help people how to reintegrate these IDPs back to their communities. And especially the JRS contributions is mostly in intermediation or dialogue, helping government and helping IDPs and also the communities how to accept the IDPs back to their communities.
JRS Timor-Leste undertook capacity building workshops on protection issues. The staff of Provedoria dos Direitos Humanos y Justiça Timor-Leste, Caritas Australia, and the camp managers who were IDPs themselves took part in these trainings.
Então, iha inisiativa idane koko halo o diskusão nebe ke iha koko halo atividades idane be maka parte rua, parte colegas nebe maka iha refugiado o comunidade sira sai integrado, sira sai idade la hanuingona conflito hirak nebe maka moso iha passado. Mebe idane hanesang lisang lida nebe bele lori sira basitu sang lida fo. Então atividades nebe ke hahu iha naba maka atividades ida promove dame, hari dame.
JRS participated in the National Recovery Strategy for the Return and Integration of IDPs. 222 chefi de sucos, or village chiefs, were interviewed to collect information on the issues and problems for IDPs returning home. Reconciliation meetings in the presence of the church, government, internally displaced people, and communities were held in public. Dialogue and mediation sessions were conducted between families and between internally displaced people and their communities. After 19 such meetings in the town of Metanaro, all 50 families were accepted.
Mai ajuda falehau, o hani família, mai halo mediação ba emanebe ocupa uma ho amnesefi aldeia halo dialog ba ema sirne odi athus wensa ya ami comunidade de nebele fila hikas mehene.
Serviços de resnia los focus los IDP mas sempre ia suku mos ho di halo linha coordenação ho malu sira ia suku no aldeia. Então saída mag JRS halo durante ia suku mos mane pertence ira makne reforça malu feito sira nebe mag interesse atau halo atividade. Por exemplo, for capacitação, treinamento basira, lori sira ba visita fatin dan bema atividade halona, atu nune sira fila fali mai sirne hela fatin, sira bela aplica fali exemplo no saída mak sira hetanya fatin seluk atu mai halo fali ia sirne aldeia no fatin nebe sira hela ba.
By the year 2009, 22,577 IDPs were back in their homes. Out of 176 land disputes processed, 106 cases were resolved and others were still in the process. In Mauk, the land was levelled and houses were built. 21 houses were built by JRS for the IDPs. 26 vulnerable families received materials from JRS and help from local communities to build their houses.
Asuda nehan sane tamba lore dane umane halo hotu tamba sada osa be sasang sene lori mai amne labele istrakar biru.
JRS reached out to vulnerable people from IDPs and communities and offered them housing and medical assistance.
Busani moras, musi de fulang moras tinang hira. Na kuliah dah moras ni kalior na. Moras ni basic tamat tinang rua. Emang ni kuliah anta semana karak antau habuka be sirana bane hau be lajuda mana babe simu be kursi roda. Hama satang tama indor harus be babe simu be kursi roda ne usi be mana ne.
As the IDPs were being resettled into their communities, JRS Timor-Leste began the process of reintegration of internally displaced people into their communities through sports, music, and training on the culture of peace.
Siramos halo mediação ba problema IDPs nebe ke ia aldeia rasik. Turma e a área de juventude mak sira apoio organiza animação, desporto, animação musical, ba jovem sira ne ia pekora no caminha.
Youth from 22 sub-villages organised and performed music concerts for peace, and about 2,000 people participated. Almost 1,000 players from 55 sub-villages took part in football, volleyball and track and field games. JRS, Timor Aid, the International Organisation for Migration and Catholic Relief Services provided the support. While the community was returning to peace, JRS began the process of empowerment and consolidation.
JRS always aims to be less useful. The less useful it is, then the people become more empowered. So in that way, I will say that in the future, JRS Timor-Leste has to give the power and the energy to the people themselves to build, to live, and also to enhance further the peace that they already gained.
When the IDPs were reintegrated into their communities, an empowerment process was initiated for both the IDPs and community through capacity building in suku administration, income generation activities, and microcredit financing systems. JRS assisted the Suko administration officers in conducting a population survey in the villages. This service had a significant impact in helping people re-establish their identity, sense of belonging and land rights. 31 Shefi Sukos were trained in project management and proposal writing. 10 proposals which were sent to the government were approved.
Em 2008, Bahira halo construção foi nona. Kita começa halo serviço de mediação. Amuto ko governo di Hussein Jo Barbarak, hetan apoio Barbarak, hetan tulun mai Hussein Jo Barbarak liu mos JRS, for apoio mos facilita ba amine administração e ajuda mos ami liu si programa governo nia nebe kami halo recenseamento e a fatin hotutu e aldeia amnia sanulu recen tolu.
Ia suku heramos JRS reforça liu administração hanesa da rumah ia tinta mos JRS fotulu HVS foler sira documentos no barai ia la ia fati JRS responde ba buat sira nehotu grupo sira mos JRS lorito ia distrito Baucau tomana tutu toli kisa sira mos contente e agradece ba JRS tama durante ne JRS bele fo informação experiência ne beba sira tu halo pupuk orgânico anorgânico sira sinti contente tamba hira ser halo moro ser usaret pupuk ko ida me be ho experiência sira ne JRS lori sira to distrito sira ne sira bele sinti contente po informação sira ne hotu.
In Kamea and Hera, the community was given seeds. They developed vegetable gardens as well as their own organic fertiliser. They were able to raise an income from these activities. Eventually, they formed themselves into microcredit groups.
Bu organik ne halo ho krauten, ho ai tahan dorok, ho hansa ainia dorok sira, antau ai kafe tahan sira hudi ne tetak pa halo u rahun tia, kahro ainia rahu sunu tia ai rah etah tahan ai dorok sirne kahro mutu, anta ita halo bubuk. Ita halo bubuk ne ita loron tolu, ita taka, ita tau ai muru. Tau moruk wa ita rega tia ona husik tia taka to loron tolu ita loke mai ita fila ne to ninia hetang bubuk ne dia kepaso na antai hawen sefal bakaro pronto sira mai foti ia sina sira mai foti halo forma hene kal karone ia 50 resi ma foti sirfa mai foti lar halo ai funan ia dilar teres tun mai ami ha servisa mutu ami servisa mutu to ami hetan modone hetan osa 200 tal ami foti fo ba grupo sira hala fale atividade hansa uang sira ba sekolah hola caderno hola lápis depois sira sihat ama fila fandi.
Ami tur treinamento hene hotu ami to benlale to fale mai fale pokau mai fale montutu mai fale am toliksa ami serviço muito com SRS ami encontro SRS pues mai fale ami sirne bolo malu dan agora ita levele buka halimar red ting ser halo itania grupo ne levele pusi ke seda ting ser be halo ba oi ne ita ting levele halimar ita ting ser halo be morane per hori ba fam itla hetan osan la seda mos ting hetan osan itu ambar ita no wasa dulu ba oi.
Brother Tar from the Jesuit community developed a new income-generating activity through farming rabbits in the villages of Kamea and Hera.
Fan ikan agora boa tutun ne. Ami si lori ba fan edil ami si halo lika sang no emane be fan ikan hitas ibu sira mai kontrato ho ami. Ami sira mai kontrato ho ami atau fan ikan idane sira husu preju anu sakari ami sekolah sira. Fan para ambuga osan rai hamu tu kodi support ami sira ba sekolah.
How to lefuan agar sepa JRS, how for brigado ba hansa JRS sira, mos mai tulun how senti dia kituan tamba how bele hatan osan, how halo moro bele hatan osan bele anu ba sekolah, antau hola caderno bele au hetan, nemak how for encouragement ba JRS, mos mai tulun how ni komunidade sira.
Nebe bahau lah haluhan JRS ne dia JRS ne serviço ne ajuda hau barak liona durante ami hetang hasa sada kegagalan ne atu mai hene ami kan mai halo media ni kan sempre gagal mebe JRS hamri kodi ami mus bele dia kodi fila hikas mehene
asita contente tebes tamo mana ne ajuda hauna nebe hau cara des mamana ne foi obrigado Mamana. Tau in lora huri nia maka. Hahuri be sai bedi badi mai tabar lenga balik mai ditne.
Katak sira fasilita hato comunidade nilian ba iha órgão competente liliu ba iha area SAS bemos e contribui duni e hari duni tanki no bemos canalização bemos to in lorong facilidade ne comunidade se usa na fatin to agora.
As I noticed the big work of JRS in East Timor, mostly dealing with government, with communities, and especially in dialogue for reintegration of IDPs to their communities.
So according to me, after 5-6 years we are here, JRS Timor-Leste it's kind of completed the mission. We cannot work for a very long time and develop the complicated issues of development, but we work in order to bring this kind of reconciliation, building the trust, so that the people are empowered to build their own future.
Ami sila bele para kropone tamba ami halau alkultur toskik ne amnia hasa seresera makmai hanorin ami halau ami tuiri dan ini.
Through the processes of accompaniment, service, advocacy and empowerment, JRS has made a definite impact in the lives of the IDPs and the communities in Dili.